Hey guys, so I was asked by Amcrest to review this new video doorbell they just released, or recently released. It's a model AD110. It's a 2 megapixel, 1080p, supposedly has night vision and a cell phone app. It's IP55 rated, so it can get a little wet. It's all Wi-Fi, and it's supposedly powered by the 24-volt transformer that powers the doorbell. So let's unbox this thing and see what it looks like and install it. Alright, so a lot of you guys were giving me crap in the comments for not giving you the play-by-play and skipping over parts, so I'm not going to skip over anything on this one. Let's open it up. Pulling the plastic wrap off. So let's open the box. Oh, looks like the box just separates like this. Maybe. There we go. Thank you, image stabilization. You guys didn't have to feel that. So it seems to be packaged pretty well. It's got a nice foam insert there. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. A lot of little individual cards that I have to read through or just throw out. Comes with some anchors. A chime kit. Oh boy, I might have to read the instructions on this one. Different color trim. That's a nice touch. So the doorbell is black, but if black stands out like a sore thumb on your house, you can put this little silver trim kit on there. It's kind of neat. Looks like a Torx bit, Torx driver. Maybe a tamper-resistant one. Even comes with a hammer drill bit. Wow, nice job, Amcrest. I have 1,000 of these, but I'm sure a lot of people don't. That's a nice touch. I rarely see that. Alright, so I'm going to take a gander at these thousands of cards to make sure I don't do anything wrong and look like a fool in this video, so stand by. Alright, so it looks like from these instructions that the chime wires in, or the provided chime by Amcrest wires into the chime that is already installed in your house. So it looks like they give you this little chime thing here and a wire harness. It's probably in one of these little bags here. Somewhere. There we go. It's probably this thing here. This is our chime. Oops. We're dropping some wires. So this thing plugs into right here. Get some double-sided tape. And this goes to your indoor chime. I'm not sure what that's for. I don't know why they would need a second chime. But it's pretty straightforward. You remove the cover, loosen the two screws that supply power. One of them is obviously going to from your doorbell button, because all it does is close the circuit, and you just wire it in like so. It's pretty easy. What's step 2? Remove the faceplate and bracket. Remove the bracket and faceplate. Okay. Looks pretty straightforward. Okay. It's nice that it's not battery powered. We have a Ring doorbell at work, and we have to change that battery probably once a week. Granted, we get a little more traffic than average, but still, it's kind of annoying. So it takes a micro SD card too. Alright, so let's take a look at the outside of my house and we'll get going. Alright, take it back. Let's look at the actual doorbell first. So again, it comes with all the tool. That's a really nice touch. So I'm taking this little screw off the bottom, which is what it says to do the instructions. And this should pop off like it does. This little nice aluminum, feels like aluminum faceplate. I think it might be steel actually. It's definitely metal. I don't think I have a magnet nearby. So yeah, it's a nice little plate. The doorbell seems to be built pretty well. It's got a nice little protective cover on the lens to be removed by the consumer. I guess this is where these things wire up here. You got pigtails to connect to your existing wiring. Okay. All right, gonna pull my chime apart. Sorry, I get distracted again. So I took the old trim plate off, and it's really just held on by these little plastic clips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 clips. And then that exposes the micro SD card slot on the side, right there, on this little plastic cover, right there. If you guys can see that, right where the screwdriver is. And this looks like maybe a power button here. Hard to tell. So then you have that trim plate, if that looks better for you. So, cool, nice job, Amcrest. So there's my existing doorbell on the wall here. So they want you to tap into these two wires here. They want you to shut the power off, but you really don't have to. It's low voltage, it's 24 volts. No one's gonna hurt themselves. But I take no responsibility if you hurt yourself, so do what the instructions say. So undo those two screws. Shove these two wires under there. Doesn't really matter which, it's AC power. And then this step should be done. They do give you some little double-sided tape, as I think I pointed out before there, to stick it to something in there. I'm gonna clean this cover off because it's kind of disgusting. It hasn't been open in years. All right, here goes nothing. Let's try not to fall off the ladder here. Let's shove that in there. Come on, being difficult. There we go. Whoop. Lost my other wire. Let's go the other way. Oh, cool. Oh boy, that's what happens around here. A lot of dogs. One. Get that bad boy in there. Nah, it's kind of short if I do it that way. Sorry guys, I'm just mumbling. Let's go in this way. That should do. Okay, that's that. Now let's see, do we have a flat surface to put it on in here? Of course not. That would make things way too easy. Do we have room here? Will that still close? Maybe. Let's try, see if there's room there. It's like the hardest part right here. I don't think it's gonna close. I think we gotta put it over here. So let's pull that double-sided tape off. And if I mess it up, you guys get to see it on YouTube. Let's see, can we get it to stick there? Nope, we're too curved. Awesome. What a pain. All right, Amcrest, there's your first failure. Hopefully your only one. I think we might just need to plop that thing in the middle there. Maybe just leave it there. Boy, guys, I don't know. Maybe something like that. It's probably the only way it's going to fit like that. Not very clean, but not much else I can do. It's just me, boys. It's not closing. So was it up there now? Okay, I guess that works. Step one complete. Alright, so here's our existing doorbell, and looks kind of shabby anyway. I'm not going to miss this thing. Although it served me well. This button was replaced when I moved here because it was too icky. So let's unscrew this. It should be a single gang box here. It's been a while since I've been in here. Screws are 12 miles long. When you pop these things off, you always pop them off from the bottom so you can kind of see. Oh, see, we can't destroy the paint. That's not too bad. All right. So just a hole in the box, in that block rather. There's no box here, just a mud ring. So let's see, how's this thing gonna line up? Come on, Amcrest, really? Did you guys really do this? Huh. So now, this is a single gang mud ring, pretty standard. Here's inside of my block wall. So that hole lines up there, but there's no holes up here. This thing's too small. Let's see if they mention that in the instructions. So there, if I didn't give you a good angle, there's one there. Holes don't line up. All right, let's see what they say. All right, so now even in a best case scenario, Amcrest, this doorbell isn't going to cover up the mud ring and the stucco. It's just not wide enough. It's too small. So Amcrest, you really should provide some kind of mud ring for a single gang box. Or I'm sorry, a cover that's designed to fit a mud ring on a single gang box for people like this. So now what I have to do is I have to chip out this mud ring, damage all my stucco, skim coat it, make the hole smaller, then drill a hole. So this is a much bigger project now. They could have fixed this by just including a faceplate, or I guess one of these plates that's designed to hook onto a mud ring. To be continued. You know, I really don't feel like breaking into the stucco, so I'm wondering if I can somehow transform this into a mounting bracket for the doorbell. It is plastic, but it should be fine. I can mount it securely to this. Might be a little tricky. Let's give it a shot. Alright, I found one of my spare box blanks here. I'm going to mess with this one instead of my doorbell one, just in case I need to put it back on. So I'm just going to drill a hole through there for the wiring, right dead center. Now you guys want to see everything, so let me see if I can mount this thing so I can use both hands. Let's see. Alright, hopefully you can see this. I'm just going to eyeball it. No one's ever going to see this hole. Oh, that worked well. Okay. Epic failure. That's a brittle box. Jeez. Wow. Okay. So much for that idea. You know what? Let's try something else. Let's take a Decora box. Single gang Decora box. Not box. Cover. Let's try one of these. So we already have our cutout for the wiring. This thing's a little bit bigger too. Maybe it'll work out better. Where did I put the doorbell? Probably on my desk. Oh, here of the day is Blue Moon. Alright guys, this actually might work out okay. The wire comes in there. Granted, I'm mounting to plastic. I'm not thrilled about that, but what other option do I have? Let me think. Alright, I've spun this around in my head 100 different times. I don't think this is going to work. I think what I need to do is probably make a wood plate to block off the hole in the stucco, paint it to match the house, then bolt this to the wood block. I think that's going to be the sturdiest way to do this. So for that, I'm going to use this piece of pine that I already have in. Oh, put my lid. I thought it was stock. Just cut that down to size and shape it, sand it, paint it. So I got this piece of wood cut. Started to sand it and marked it for where the mounting screws need to be. It'll be about like that. Even a little more sanding, but paint this, match the house, it'll look beautiful. So now I'm going to drill these 2 holes to mount it to the box. And I'm not going to use that bit. I don't like that bit for this purpose. This is a countersink bit. Let's take that out. Let's get a real small drill bit. Let's get the screws. I think they're what? How many? Number 6? These things? Probably. Have to find longer screws. So I'm going to find a drill, but it's just slightly larger than this. And let's see, what is this one? This is a... Boy, I can't even read that. It's the right size, let's put it that way. We'll chuck it up in the drill and we'll get drill. Okay, so we're going to do about like that. Nice thing about a drill press is you get a perfectly straight hole. No wiggly wobbly. And make sure you start it right. Now, if you're drilling into metal, you never want to do what I'm doing right now. You want to make sure you use this little vise that's off to the corner here. This drill bit looks bent. Look bent to you guys? That thing is bent. I don't know how that happened. Doesn't look like it's ever been used. Let's try putting it in a different position in the chuck. Sometimes that helps. It's not like we're drilling into metal here anyway. Let's raise our deck a little bit. There we go. Lock it back in place. That's a little bit better. Check it side to side. That looks good. Let her rip. Okay, we're through. Get rid of that wood. Get lined up there. Lined up there. We're through. Okay, thank you, Mr. Drill Press. Now, I'm sure some of you will probably be saying, oh, you got to use pressure treated outside. You got to use pressure treated. It's going to get wet. Well, you know what? Most cases, you're probably right, but my front door is under an overhang. It doesn't get wet there, really ever. And plus, I'm going to paint this. So while I would agree with you, I don't think it's necessary here, even though we're touching concrete. Let's clean this up a little bit more. That thing's about 1,000 years old. I think it's from the 50s or 60s. I'm just going over the edges here, a little bit of 220 grit sandpaper just to smooth things out. Just totally necessary, not really. But if you're gonna do it, might as well do it right. I could use a router to get these corners perfectly smooth, but I'm not going to go that nuts. You have a router and you have the time, have a blast. We're just dealing with a piece of trim here. I'm not going on a nuclear reactor. I don't know if any of you guys watch South Main Auto Channel. Mr. Eric O. You guys see I do a lot of auto work. He does quite a bit more. He's pretty good at what he does. Not a paid endorsement, but shout out to Eric. Good work, Eric. Some other YouTube channels I watch are the AVE channel. The guy cracks me up every time. He talks about angry pixies. Okay, that's pretty nice. Look good to you guys? Let's see if we can find 2 screws long enough to go through all this wood. Pretty cool. I knew there was a reason I saved everything. Found 2 screws that are definitely long enough. The question is, they're going to be too long. We'll get something shorter and use that so we don't waste the screws. Maybe we'll need something this length next time. Down to my bag here. These actually might do. Let's try. Those threads are not that deep in that box. Let's take these 2 screws. We'll get them nice and countersunk. See if that fits. Here's a quick little trick if you need to countersink a screw. You guys can probably see this screw is sitting up off the deck there. What you can do, take a drill bit, like so. It's bigger than the head of the screw. Try to do this one-handed. It's probably going to fail, but just kind of drill it in a little bit. Give that head of the screw somewhere to go. Kind of like that. See how that looks. There you go. Now it's below the surface. Helpful trick of the day. Forgot, we need to drill a hole for our wire, right? So I'm going to drill a hole right in that oval section in the center. Alright, I'm going to snip these wires off just so we don't have any doorbell rings in the middle of our little test here. Let's feed the wire through. Like so. Kind of like that. Let's test our fit. I think it's going to be pretty good though. So hopefully you guys can see this. Look at that. Yeah, it's working. Look at that. That's pretty darn solid. Actually, pretty close match to the house, too. Beautiful. So now we'll prime that, we'll paint it, and then we'll resume. Got our wood plate primed and painted, 2 coats. Actually, 2 coats of primer, 1 coat of paint. Used Sherwin-Williams Super Paint exterior, match the house. So I'm gonna go screw this up to the faceplate where the doorbell was. Got my little wood plate mounted. Still have to caulk along the edge here. I did mention that we're in a covered area, so I need to worry about it getting wet. But still, for good measure, we keep critters out and whatnot. So I'll run a bead of caulk along the perimeter, and then we'll touch up the paint. I'm going to be using Dynaflex 230. It's an interior-exterior waterproof caulk. I believe it is a latex, though it advertised that it's silicone tough, and it's for window, door, siding, and trim. So it's perfect for this job. So to do that, I'll rotate the tube, try to do this one-handed. As my friend Steve always says, I can run a beaded clock that'll make you cry. So I usually like to glob it on in there, smooth it out with my finger later on. This is paintable in 2 hours, it says. Let's do the other side. Switch hands. There we go. Let's get the bottom. Okay, good enough. Now let's smooth it out with our finger. We like to go both directions here. Let's make sure we got a good bond and no gaps. Run out of fingers. All right, I think that'll come out nicely. Now let that dry for 2 hours. While we're waiting for the caulk to dry, I can mount this plate, kind of get things going. I'm gonna do the bottom screw first, so it'll lets me kind of position it, or hold it while I position and get it plumb and level and all that. So let's stick it there, make sure it looks kind of centered, right? Maybe about, maybe something like that. Got my screw gun here, and I dropped my level. That's awesome. It's always fun. Now I can take my level, make sure it's plumb. Pretty darn good like that. And mount the other 2 screws in the top. And the dogs missed me. Something like that. Hopefully it's still pretty darn close. Let's get the doorbell itself and do the remainder of the connections. What's up, boys? They're so bored. Now we're gonna mount these little wire pigtails here that come with it. I'm assuming that's what they're for, because they have to join into the doorbell wiring somehow. So it's kind of a nice way of doing it, actually. Hopefully I left myself enough room. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use these. I think I'm going to use just the straight wires that I have. I think I might struggle to get wire nuts back there. Let's try that. I'm just going to strip off a little length of wire here. Existing doorbell wiring. And I'll wrap that under the screws. You always want to make sure you wrap the wire in the right direction too. It was just me, puppies. Accidentally shorted those out. The dogs heard it. Silly creatures, right? It's just me, puppies. I guess the doorbell still works, right? Alright, I won't bore you with this. Alright, got everything wired up like so. Don't have a micro SD in here yet. Let's see if we can turn it on. Did anything happen? Not yet. Oh, doing something now. Cool. The screw in the bottom to secure it to the plate so it doesn't walk around or fall off or something. None of that would be good. There it goes. Okay. Locked on. Doesn't look too bad. We still have to put the trim plate on it. Guess we need to scan that barcode. I did find a micro SD card just laying around, a 128, so let's shove that in there on the side. I'm putting it in backwards. Oh, maybe I wasn't. Come on. How does this thing fit in there? There we go. Just like. It's very hard to insert the micro SD card slot while the thing's mounted. Alright, there we go. Now we need to set up the Amcrest Smart Home app, I guess, right? Let's see if my existing Amcrest app does anything, though. I have the Amcrest View Pro. Don't know what that will do, if anything. So I guess we have to go to Devices, Device Manager. Gonna go Add Device. Let's do Search Device. That might not work because I'm not on Wi-Fi, looks like. Let's see if that works now. It's a thinking. Do I not get Wi-Fi here? That's going to be a problem. Interesting. Let's go to settings. I'm just looking at my phone here, trying to get on Wi-Fi. Let's connect to my normal Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi should work here. But perhaps not. That will be a separate issue. Maybe I need to install another Wi-Fi access point. Interesting. So I had some Wi-Fi issues. Turns out my phone wouldn't connect to Wi-Fi, and when I replaced my Unify access point, for some reason my phone couldn't connect to it, so I kind of had to tell the Unify system to forget and re-adopt it. So it seems to be working now. I tried setting up the doorbell using the Amcrest View Pro app. It would not recognize it, so I'm going to try the Amcrest Smart Home app, which looks like you have to register now. All right, I'm gonna enter all my information, get an account set up, and we'll pick it up. Got the account created. It looks like they want me to scan that barcode with the camera here. Also, to tell you, Amcrest, when you get people to set up their account on the phone, give them more than 60 seconds for the email to arrive. I mean, I'm a pretty tech-savvy guy, and I had trouble doing it. Now my phone just went to sleep. Okay, so now we must first enable your doorbell hotspot to continue. All right. Jesus, okay. Hard to do this. Okay. So I guess now it's looking for a hotspot. A Wi-Fi hotspot. Oh, okay. So it looks like my phone needs to connect to the doorbell. Connection failed. Awesome. I hate technology. It's okay. So connection failed. Now what? Go to your Wi-Fi settings, connect to the device's hotspot. Okay, so we'll try that. Go to Wi-Fi settings. Oops, nope, don't need to do that. Let's look at our Wi-Fi networks. Not seeing your access point, Amcrest. Oh, good God. Just turn Wi-Fi off and on again. Still not seeing it. This is not in range. How is that possible? I'm standing right next to the damn thing. Network not in range. I really hate technology. Maybe we need to reboot this thing. Let's give that a try. Kill the power to it. Now to kill power or reboot the doorbell, all I did was unhook this red lead from the doorbell transformer. This is what they look like in most houses. That's what mine looks like. There's a similar transformer, but for an intercom system. So really all I have to do is unhook one of those wires. And I wonder if perhaps this transformer is not strong enough for that doorbell. I didn't see any published specifications in the documentation. I'll have to look again, but let's let it sit for a minute with no power. We'll plug it back in and see what happens. I think I see the problem already. It needs a 16 volt, 30 volt amp transformer. Mine's only 10. So I guess I'm ordering another transformer. We'll pick it up in a couple days. Thanks to Amazon, I have my new transformer. Here's the new one on the right. Here's the old one on the left. This one's 16 volts, 10 volt amps. This one is 16 volts, 30 volt amps. So about 3 times the power output. So let's go ahead and hook this up. So there that's where the old one came off of. I have the wiring all capped off. So we're gonna hook the black up to black, white up to white, and green up to the bare ground. So we got it hooked up like so. White to white, black to black, green to the bare ground. Shove all the wires back in there and put this box back on. Cut that old bolt button back up. Now we just hook up our low voltage wires. Doesn't really matter which one goes where. Okay, all set. Now it's time to test the doorbell and see if the Wi-Fi provisioning process works better. All right, let's try this again. Gonna get the, got it. Let's do next. Let's give this a minute. I figured it out. So there's a button you have to press on the side. It looks like the power button. Once you press that, it says to you Wi-Fi hotspot enabled. So now there's the hotspot and we're connected. Let's go back to the app. Okay, let's give it a password. I'll do that off camera. All right, so we enter our recovery email. We're gonna pick our Wi-Fi network. Hopefully it does detect it in range. Uh-oh. Let's try again. There we go. I'm gonna enter my Wi-Fi password and do that off camera. Okay, it's connecting. Oh, Maybe I entered the wrong password. Let's try that again. Okay, so I finally got the password typed in right. It says to wait for the LED to be solid blue. It is. Then we click next. We'll just call it Doorbell. Let's just do Doorbell. So let's save. Let's do mechanical chime. Cool, it just sees me moving. It's kind of neat. So next. Time zone, let's change it to Eastern time. Okay, let's hit save. Cool, it's done. Let's check out the live view. There I am. What's up, guys? Pretty neato. Anyway, that's how you install one of these things. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll give you a kind of review after I've looked at it for a couple of days, put it through its paces. One thing I also want to emphasize, guys, you should do a firmware update. That this device came with an out-of-date firmware, so it's doing an over-the-air update right now. So you should do that to your doorbell after you install it, just to make sure you have all the latest security patches.